Thank you very much, Dr. Arnab. Respected Governor of Chhattisgarh, Mr. Sekhar Dutt, my colleague Beno Boya, Chief Natural Sciences, Natural Sciences, UNESCO Delhi, respected Armoogum Parsuramen, and all the distinguished participants and panelists present today. I must first of all thank Arnabji for taking this forward. I remember very well a meeting with Excellency Arnabji, where he introduced to me Arnab, and he presented the project to me at that time. And I must say, as a UNESCO staff, and having worked with UNESCO for more than 30 years, I could immediately see the potential that the collaboration with UNESCO can bring to your vision, to your great initiative. I must say it's a very unique initiative what you've taken. And therefore, I felt it was natural for me, having been myself director of this office from 2009, 2011, and knowing UNESCO from headquarters also. I know this is something that, by collaborating with UNESCO, you could take it forward. And I must say it's very rare for UN agencies. I sent a message in that connection to the director, my good friend Eric Falk, on a Sunday. And I got the reply on the same Sunday, where Eric Falk directed a message to Boya, asked him to take it forward. That's a sort of spirit which I think was really great, and I was very, very happy and touched by that, because to respond so spontaneously and so quickly to the message I sent on a Sunday is really exceptional. And I must thank my friend Boya, who took it so seriously. I can feel that he has a lot of he's very committed to it. It comes from his heart. Right, the way he took that, and he was not yet based in Delhi because of family reason. He was in Bangkok, I think. No, he was there, but working from there, serving Delhi, and he took up the matter. And here we are today at this conference, and it's a major breakthrough for you, Arnab. I think this will greatly help to take it forward the way you wanted it. And I must say, I'm very also. I must say that I'm very pleased to be associated with my colleague and good friend Eric Falk, the director of UNESCO New Delhi. Unfortunately, as he mentioned to me today, he'll be leaving Delhi for some other place. But I think he's done 4.5 years here. Done a wonderful job. I must pay tribute to him, because when I look at what he has achieved over this period as director of UNESCO New Delhi office, is significant. Right? He has laid the foundation of a number of very interesting initiatives, because he's very open-minded. And is very also quick to grasp the key issues that we need to take forward in the service to our member states. And so therefore, I'm very happy, and I have great hope that your vision of taking this forward in the best interest, not only of the region, but also globally, has great potential because of this willingness, this collaboration, and this support that you are getting from UNESCO. And when we met the director this morning, although he will not be here himself as from September, but sorry, it's not fine. Oh, I'm sorry. So that we got silent. He very much endorsed what we're doing today, and gave his full support to Boya. And he is looking forward to the outcome of this meeting. And you agreed to submit to him the brief outcome together with Boya, and he will certainly give his support to that. And I'm sure that his successor, I don't know who is the successor yet, but a new one will be joining us from 1st of October. I'm confident that they will follow that, because this is UNESCO in terms of the service that they want to offer. It's not an organization which provides a lot of money, but it's an organization which has the capacity to convene and get people together in achieving great objectives that we have under our mandate. And that, I think, is the advantage of collaboration with UNESCO. Well, let me also salute the presence of somebody whom I have great respect and who was a very, I must say, very, very well respected and regarded ambassador to Mauritius. My friend Armoogum Parsuramen is really did a wonderful job there, and people still talk of him because he was an ambassador who could meet anybody. You want to see him, you go and meet him, meet people, he goes around, and people still remember it. But you have left also very, very good landmark in Mauritius. And I was pleased that what Arnav mentioned about the Sagar vision. And that is something which, and I know even after retirement, you are doing a lot of fantastic work. And most interestingly, for the purpose of our discussion here, I think I've not seen somebody who is so committed to blue economy. He's really an international expert in that field, conducting many conferences and giving very, very sound guidance and advice in this area. And this is the area of the future, especially for many developing countries. And so I'm very happy that he initiated that, and we have been able to reach this. Well, let me give some thought to the substance of this conference by saying that, as we know, in recent years, underwater cultural heritage has attracted increasing attention from both the scientific community and the general public. For scientists, it represents an invaluable source of information on ancient civilizations, maritime practices, human use of land and marine environments, and and climate change. For the general public, it offers an opportunity to understand its history, to pass on the memory of it to future generations, to strengthen the sense of community, and to develop a sustainable tourism economy. UNESCO has developed awareness-raising activities targeting all these stakeholders, members of the scientific community, heritage managers, the general public, and local communities. Furthermore, the Convention on the Protection of Underwater Cultural Heritage encourages responsible public access to underwater cultural heritage sites. Covering over 2/3 of our blue planet, the ocean makes it habitable. It is at the origin of all life on Earth. And I think, Excellency, the former governor, did emphasize that very much and in a very enlightening manner. And it's at the origin of all life on Earth and affects each of our lives. It is the source of our fresh water and of half the oxygen we breathe. It also influences our climate and weather. Our ocean provides food, medicine, and mineral and energy resources. It supports a multitude of life forms and shapes the Earth's characteristics. With reference to Mauritius and Africa, I must say that the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO, IOC UNESCO, is working to improve responses to the unprecedented environmental changes and human impacts now occurring, and to promote ocean health via marine sciences. I am pleased that much regard is given to Africa, and I'm glad that our young leaders from Africa are present here today. And much regard is given to Africa, as well as small island developing states like my own country, Mauritius, where livelihoods depend heavily on marine resources. The blue economy represents over 10.5% of the national GDP of Mauritius, with total direct employment estimated at over 20,000, excluding coastal tourism. Tapping into the economic potential of the ocean, while at the same time protecting this resource, requires thoughtful policy, planning, and management. With this in mind, Mauritius decided to make the blue economy a pillar of its economic development strategy, with an objective to double the contribution of the blue economy to GDP by 2025. It created an oceans economy roadmap, which aims to make use of the untapped value of the country's ocean resources by sustainably coordinating the use of resources. The country endowed a new ministry for blue economy, marine resources, fisheries, and shipping with the authority to coordinate and manage ocean-related activities. And I must say that Mauritius is thankful to India for all the support, technical support given for us to develop our program. But I believe personally that we need to do more. and more urgently also, because the potential is there, and we're not advancing as fast as we could. And this is where my advice to the government of Mauritius is they should really work harder on that and get full technical support from wherever we can. India in particular being a country where we have very close relationship, but also with UNESCO and all the UN agencies. They're all there to support. And I believe for Mauritius in this current economic challenge that we are facing, that will be the future. Well, marine ecosystem-based management requires a new generation of spatial planning tools to empower marine managers to implement best policies. IOC UNESCO promotes marine spatial planning, a practical way to create and establish a more rational organization of the use of marine space and the interaction between users, to balance demands for development with the need to protect marine ecosystems and to achieve social and economic objectives in an open and planned manner. Well, the Maritime Research Center, MRC Pune, is being led. I'm very happy to say that, and also honored to be associated with you, Dr. Arnab. This MRC is being led by a very dynamic young leader with high level of domain expertise. We have seen that in his presentation. And the Underwater Domain Awareness UDA framework being driven by the MRC is very relevant to the UNESCO mandate, and the two organizations working together will be a very positive start. And the technology tools developed by MRC will bring significant transparency to the interactions with the water bodies, both in the marine as well as the freshwater systems. The island nations in the Indo-Pacific will significantly benefit from such a collaboration. The post-pandemic global order has been extremely challenging, and optimum resource management will be the key to survival. The coastal communities need a lot of support from organizations like the MRC. UNESCO backing the MRC will make sure the public good is delivered to these communities. And I'm sure this collaboration between MRC and UNESCO will certainly bring a lot of benefits globally. And I must say that I was just chatting with my friend Boya, that getting his feedback about how he finds the conference. He's extremely happy with the discussion we've had and the richness of the reflection, which I'm sure will feed into the work that UNESCO does. And the advantage here, Boya can tell you, we know that UNESCO, we are limited resources with all the challenges we face, but this is a partner which will bring to you the expertise, even the resources, and India is always open to this sort of initiatives. So I'm sure the government of India also, where they are well represented here, with many eminent personalities, I'm sure this will therefore provide the right framework for you to move forward without so much of financial constraint. Because this is the challenge we have in the UN agency, especially UNESCO, which has suffered a lot of setback, with many of the big countries which have left UNESCO not paying their fees, their dues and so on. So that therefore is a good way for you to mobilize those support and move forward. Well, I think that the island nations are today facing existential threat, and urgent measures are required to manage the challenges and opportunities. The blue economic growth is a necessity and must be prioritized along with the strategic security. Environment and disaster management needs far deeper understanding of the local conditions. Maritime governance must bring a comprehensive digital transformation to allow transparency and equitable growth for all. The UDA framework brings a safe, secure, sustainable growth model, and I feel it will be the appropriate tool for driving the maritime governance mechanism in the entire Indo-Pacific region. What I find very interesting and appealing is the fact that UDA framework not only addresses the concerns of the marine, but also the freshwater system. It truly addresses the challenges and opportunities of the tropical littoral regions. The way ahead could be fivefold to bring policy and technology interventions along with acoustic capacity and capacity building. One, a focused initiative to prioritize the UDA framework across the entire tropical littoral region to start with. UNESCO would like to drive this initiative with back-end support from the MRC and NDT. The initiative should be backed by science and technology, with significant priority for local site-specific R&D and field experimental validation. Innovation is the key to success. The second point, the traditional knowledge that has ensured continuation of civilization in the subcontinent for over 5,000 years deserves far more importance. And the water archaeology is a specific domain with high technology requirement. UNESCO may like to support an under-the-water archaeology initiative driven by the UDA framework to make sure end-to-end outcome-based programs. The third point, sustainable blue economy, particularly in the tropical littoral waters, will require technology tools to support the real-time data analytics and monitoring. Digital transformation in the underwater domain will require massive acoustic capacity and capacity building. UNESCO may like to plan an outreach, engage and sustain initiative across the entire tropical region, right from Africa to South Asia. Fourth point, the demographic advantage we have in the tropical region requires urgent measures to find meaningful engagement for the young. The UDA framework could provide unimaginable opportunities for the population on multiple levels. The coastal communities and the associated stakeholders can be galvanized under the UNESCO-led initiative. UDA summer school and field visit would be a good start. Fifth point, setting up of a center of excellence under the UNESCO could be a more structured way to drive acoustic capacity and capacity building. I'm looking at the near future. I'm not looking at the immediate, but this is something which could develop, this vision could develop into a concrete action, and UNESCO is very good at setting up centers of excellence. And MRC and NDT already has reasonable recognition within the Indian Ocean region and could contribute significantly towards the Noble Initiative. Well, I must say that with regards to my own experience with India, when I was secretary of the executive board of UNESCO, how India came forward to establish in India with UNESCO the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Peace and Sustainable Development. You know, and this is a major initiative, and India came forward and provided all the funds that needed to set up that institute, which is a UNESCO institute in Delhi. There was a lot of hesitation from the member state, but I was as secretary of the board. I could see what was happening and work together, and we have this institution. What I'm trying to convey that I've worked with India for some 14 years as Minister of Education. I know the commitment, the willingness of doing something good for humanity, not only for its own sake, but for humanity. And this is something for humanity. And I'm sure UNESCO, MRC, India, and other partners joining together could certainly make a major breakthrough in this field. I wish this works up all the success that it deserves, and I'm sure the outcome will be certainly well noted. And I leave it now to my good friend Goel to take it forward with your director and your future director, so that UNESCO headquarters can also be involved. And I believe at some point in time, it may be good. This is my own, sharing my own experience with you.
Do not panic.
Sharing my own experience, how things move forward within the UNESCO structure is at some point, I think it may be useful. This could develop further. Then India can submit an item on the agenda of the executive board to bring it to the attention of the board, and that could lead to further development, which can then take it to the general conference for a major, decision. That would be my advice, my suggestion in how you take it forward to that level. So thank you very much once again, and I wish all of the success that you deserve for this. Thank you.